Alright folks, so in this video I'm going to talk about my current computer collection. You know, having a tech channel like I do, which is not even that big, there's obviously a lot bigger ones out there, but to keep this thing running, you know, you need a lot of gear to come through your doors. And although I probably pay for, I'll say, at least 50% of the stuff you see on this channel, it's kind of expensive. So a lot of this stuff, you know, I buy it and I might actually have to sell it just so I can afford to buy more stuff for y'all so that you can see it and we can go over it. But in this video, so I'm going to go over all the computers I currently have, maybe even talk about what I'm using them for, and even some of the ones that are basically collecting dust. I'll try and spit out some of the specs if I can remember what's in them. But in front of me, I've got in a Raid Max, I think it's a V5 Vortex case, we have an i5 9400F, and it is got a GTX 770 graphics card, a little old school, right? 650 watt power supply. I use this for video editing, surfing the internet, Microsoft Office, stuff like that, right? So it's pretty good for that. With a better CPU and a better graphics card, we step over to my other editing computer, which is in a Deep Cool Matrix 50 case, one of my favorite cases, and for the money, definitely my favorite case. Both these have CPU coolers on them. Why is that? One, because we can be doing some recording in here and want to keep it nice and quiet. Plus, you know, these things are on a lot and we just are keeping them nice and cool all the time. So this has an i5 9600K in it. I never overclock it, so honestly, if the i5 9600 was a better deal, then it would have that in it instead of the 9600K. We have a GTX EVGA GTX 970, and all of these have NVMe M.2 SSDs and maybe some hard drives for editing purposes, but these are, you know, what I use for editing. All right, so let's go check out some of the other computers. All right, so these are a few of the computers that I no longer use, but you will see them back on the channel in the near future. So we're not really going to talk about this one too much. I did a lot of my earlier gaming stuff using this case. Logis is the brand. I don't think you can even buy this one anymore, and it's probably not even a 2-year-old case, but nothing real exciting about that at the moment because it's empty. Now in the future you will see me do a review featuring this do-it-yourself PC case. I've got a new 9th gen motherboard here. This is the ASRock B365M. So we'll put that in there. We'll put either an i3 9100 or an i5 9400 in there. And you know, I'm not sure what graphics card. We'll figure that all out. But that's in the future. Yeah, we got quite a few computers to go over, by the way. So this is one that I'm going to be working on shortly. It's probably going to be one of my gaming rigs. It's going to have the Gigabyte Aorus Gaming 3 motherboard, which is 8th and 9th gen compatible. I don't know what processor. I'm thinking with Black Friday, maybe we can get an i7 9700K or an i9, put that in there. But this is a pretty nice case. I like that case a lot, and so we will be happy to make use of that one in the future. So let's go. All right, so let's look at some of the computers I'm currently using or that have really been featured on the channel a lot. So HP Envy i5 8400 came with the GTX 1050 and 12 gigs of RAM. I currently have removed the graphics card out of this, and it's pretty much collecting dust. featured in, you know, a few videos, did some benchmarks. One thing I always loved about this HP was all the connections in the front. Having a card reader is really nice, especially when you do as much filming. It's got a Type-C on the front, so, and not too bad a computer. Probably the desktop that has been in the most videos and has the most views overall is this Dell Inspiron 3670. I have tried to do just about everything possible to this thing, upgrade-wise. We've changed out the CPU, we've changed out the, or we put a graphics card in it, we've changed out the power supply, we've installed every kind of hard drive, solid state that you can do in this thing, I believe. And so I made a video saying I had gotten rid of this thing, and actually I did get rid of it, but magically it's back. So I'll spare you guys the details on why that's back. But currently has an i3-9100 in it, no graphics card, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Probably try and get rid of it again. So we'll see. Alright, over here is a computer I like to take with me on travel. This is the, what is this? The HP Slimline 590. I could be wrong about that number. But it had a Celeron in it. Now the Celeron's in that computer. This actually has a Pentium 8 Gen G5400, I think it is. So decent little travel computer. It's kind of almost equivalent, I'd say, to an i3-7100. Doesn't do a whole lot, but it does allow me to do some video editing, other things that my laptop just isn't that great at. So I'll take that with me. It fits in the suitcase, and you can see it's gotten a little bit of damage from travel, but still working. All right, so over here, this computer has a Celeron in it, G4900, which came out of the HP. I have this hooked up to my stereo, my TV, and I'll actually use this for, you know, when I'm sitting there on the couch and I want to surf the internet. I will actually use this computer for that purpose. All right, so this computer is the one that I use for CAD and 3D animation on the channel. This has the Sama Z3 case in it, and I believe this has an i5 8400 in it, GTX 950, and let's see what else, EVGA, 500 watt bronze power supply, Samsung PM981 M.2 NVMe solid state. So it is pretty good for doing CAD, you know. I cannot complain about it. Obviously it'd be nice to have an i7 doing it, and you know, obviously for rendering and things like that. I also will do some video editing on that one. But you know, overall it's a pretty good computer. Now let's talk gaming computers, all right? So this guy was one of my fastest computers. This is one of my only. This is currently my only AMD computer. So this has the what is it? The 570 motherboard in it. So which is capable of PCI Express 4.0. Now that graphics card there, that is the MSI, what is it, RX Vega 56. I might not be calling that the right name, but it is the 56. 8 gigabyte, a really good graphics card, probably close to performance-wise the GTX 1070. One of the few computers that I have trusted a PVIA power supply to for the long term. That's a 900 watt power supply. Hybrid module type thing, and so CPU wise, that's got an AMD Ryzen 3 3200G. Eventually Black Friday that'll get replaced, and we will probably sell off that CPU because it's, you know, not very impressive performance wise. But yeah, decent decent gaming computer overall though. So right here is my main, currently my main gaming rig. Eventually I'll take all these components out and put them in a different computer. And this guy has the Intel i3-9350KF. This has my AMD RX 5700, which is probably the best, yeah, it is the best graphics card I have here. This also has a Cellphone Rocket 1TB M.2 NVMe SSD. So really good overall. Probably I think this has 32 gigs of RAM. This is the computer I use for a lot of the gaming videos that you see right there. Now, if I was smart, I would take probably this graphics card, put it in this computer, get rid of this CPU, and have a really, really good gaming computer. Take advantage of the PCI Express 4.0. But I haven't done that. So, alright folks, well that is my current computer collection. I'll probably do one of these a year from now, and you will see how things will really change. I'll have a lot different stuff in the future. Thanks for checking out the video.